Sikhism is the fifth largest religion. Immigration was heavy to California, specifically Yuba City, California, where there still is a very large population of Sikhs. A big reason for this is because of the farming that is in that area. Sikhs have always been farmers, so it was very easy for them to come over and continue farming as opposed to finding something new. For my midterm, I went to a Gurdwara in Easton. When you walk in, everybody takes their shoes off. There's a shoe room to store your shoes in. When you go in, men and women sit on opposite sides so that they can focus on their prayers. Everybody sits on the floor to represent equality, as equality is something very important to them. So even as men and women sit on different sides, they are still considered equal. It's just so that it is easier for them to totally focus on their prayers. Everything is also written in English. This again goes with the equality so that people can come in and understand everything that's going on without that language barrier being there. In relation to sitting on the floor, there is a handicap section to include those who have a hard time getting up and down from the floor, that are in wheelchairs and can't get up and down from the floor. Many people there did wear modern clothing. There were some people who did wear the more traditional clothing, and it seemed to be more the women that would wear traditional clothing than the men. But there were still some, especially the younger girls, who did wear modern clothing. And everybody that follows the Sikh religion has a promise to not cut their hair. As I said, equality is a very big thing in the Sikh religion, and being open and loving is a huge, huge part of the religion. They believe in fighting hate with love. They believe that strangers should be seen as siblings, and that if we can see other people as brothers and sisters, it would encourage us to be a lot nicer to each other and a lot more loving and understanding of each other. After I had left the Gurdwara, I started thinking about some questions and stuff that I didn't get the chance to really ask, just because I tend to not be able to think of things on the spot when I'm asked if I have any questions. They usually come later, which I'm sure many people do. And it happened that in my American ethnicity class, shortly after that visit, we ended up looking at religion as an ethnicity. And in that, my professor actually showed us a video on Sikhs. And I will include a link in my Blackboard post to that video, because it is a very good video. It's about an hour long. If anybody wants to watch it to get some more information, I definitely would recommend it. But a couple of the things I pulled out of that video in relation to the questions that I was having there was a clip about a Canadian politician who was getting a lot of hate. And this lady was in his face screaming, telling him to get out. And he just kept saying that they love her. And he just kept saying kind words to her, which honestly I think probably made her even more angry. But you can watch the video for that whole thing. But it just shows that they fight hate with love instead of hate with hate. Another part of the video, there's the quote, and it is, "Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is freedom from hate." So they're very big on forgiving. They don't hold grudges. They don't hold hate in their hearts. They don't believe that is doing anybody any good, and if anything, it is only harming yourself. They also talked more about the turban in that video. So as I said before, you cover your head to represent sovereignty. It is a religious article, not a cultural article. It is chosen to be worn as a religious article of clothing. And it is actually designed to stand out in a crowd, which obviously it does, but the purpose of why it's designed to stand out in a crowd is so that when somebody is in need, they know that is a person they can call upon to help them. A big part of the Sikh religion is helping people and actually being active to help protect people, and not just praying and hoping that God will take that action for you. And because of this, it actually makes a lot of Sikhs want to join the military. And actually in 2008, they put a ban on head wraps and beards. Before 2008, it was allowed in most parts of the military, but then it got a ban all across the board. And after about a year of petitioning and lobbying politicians, there was one member of the army who is pictured, who ended up getting an exception to that rule so that he could wear his turban and he could have his beard because he told them when he signed up that he was keeping that was not going to change. However, it was only an exception for him and not for everybody. It took about a total of 10 years for a policy change to be implemented, allowing all sorts of headgear and beards, so not only for Sikhs, but for Jews and all other religions. However, this was only in the army. The video also showed Waris Alwalia. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but he described being Sikh as being black in the 50s. He gets agents that constantly ask him if he's going to take his turban off, if he'll shave his beard, and he always tells them that he will not, that is part of his package and that is part of who he is. Many Sikhs are very proud to be Sikhs, and as I said, they're very open and very loving, and to me that makes complete sense, and they unfortunately are very, very misunderstood, and not even just misunderstood. A lot of people don't know about it at all and just assume many Sikhs are Muslims. So I think through this class and videos like the one that I will post the link for are a big key to getting awareness spread around about the Sikhs and how it is in no way about violence or anything like that, like a lot of the misconceptions are. And we can eventually make a change to be a lot more accepting and maybe take some of the concepts of the Sikh religion and apply it to our own religions.